Hello, everyone. Welcome to KidLit Meet and Greet. Today, I'm super excited to introduce you to Jacqueline Lindsey. This is Jackie, one of my favorite KidLit creators. We connected like 3 months ago, and I think we've kind of been besties ever since. Would you say we're besties?
Definitely besties. Absolutely.
She kind of has to say that because she's being recorded.
It's true, though. It's definitely true.
It is true. So very true. So, Jackie, I'm super excited that you get to be my first interview. I'm nervous, so feel free to tell me to calm down if I'm too nervous. But why don't we start off? Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Jacqueline Lindsey. I live in Tampa, Florida with my equally nerdy husband and our three very boisterous little boys, 6 and under. I work full time as a psychologist, a business psychologist. And then I recently took up writing and I love it. And so that's what brought me here today.
You love it and you're good at it. I had no idea you were a business psychologist. That's fascinating. We're going to have to talk about that some other
We
time
can
too.
definitely talk about that.
Um, how did you get into writing for children? What brought you here?
Yeah. I think it's been a long journey, kind of up and down and short as well. So if you asked me as a little girl what I wanted to be, it was definitely a writer, always a writer. Life happened. I kind of got scared to share a lot of my writing as a young girl. I was told it would be a very difficult road making a living of it. That's not untrue. And so I took up another passion of psychology and I went to school, went to grad school, met my husband, started this whole life and realized I needed a hobby. And about 7 months ago, I sat down and picked up a pen. I'd written throughout the years here and there, but this time it felt different and it came out as a children's story for my son. And I quickly started doing it over and over again, and it felt so good. And I had to figure out more about it. So I started researching and figuring out, if I wanted to do this, what would that look like? And what is this KidLit world about? And it was one rabbit hole after another, and turned me quickly into what this is today, talking to April.
Yay!
Yeah.
You have some of the most clever ideas. Where do you get your inspiration? Where do your ideas come from?
You're very sweet. I could say the same thing about you. Um, I think all over the place. They started out as just ideas about my children. Then I started being more introspective with them. Now it's kind of everywhere all the time. And when I was even thinking about this interview, I actually came up with the idea. I jotted down. Most of these won't see the light of day, but ideas are all around you if you're just opening your eyes and kind of letting your brain relax a little bit as you look at them, right?
Right, for sure. Um, what is your favorite thing about being a writer?
Um, so I find this funny, this question so funny because up until recently, I never really considered myself a writer. So it's a fun new label I have for myself that I just take such pride in. Um, I was actually listening to this acceptance speech by Pat Zitlow Miller just a few months ago, and she said something along the lines of, when she started writing, I fell asleep thinking about picture books. I woke up thinking about picture books, and it was such a happy way to go through life. And I don't know why that soundbite has stuck with me. And I agree. It's such a happy way to go through life. It's happy and it's inspiring and it's been lovely. And I want to hold on to as much as I can. So I think I love how it feels to be a writer and what that does to me on a daily basis. That's my favorite part.
I have not heard that comment from Pat before, but now it's going to be one of my favorites too. I love that.
Yeah, it's great.
What are some of the challenges that you have come across as a writer, and how do you deal with those?
Yeah, I'm not a patient person at all. I'm one of those people that I'm used to kind of like being in control of my own timeline and the things I get done. And so I think learning that patience has been probably a really healthy struggle for me, but definitely a challenge. And not just with, waiting for agents or editors and hearing those sorts of feedback, but I think it's more so waiting for your story to develop and breathe over time and allowing that space for it. It's not that every day I can just push through and get this manuscript done, which I really want to most days. But it's being patient, saying, you know what? I need to sleep on this. You know what? Next week, this might have a really cool aha moment, but I can't force that right now. And so I think just developing that patience has been really meaningful for me as a writer and as a person.
I can so relate. So
Yeah,
relate.
it's hard. Patience is hard,
It
right?
is hard. And it's so exactly like you said, it's not just the waiting for the agent responses, but the waiting for the magic to happen in your brain so you can make it happen in the revisions, you know?
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm. So I know you write typically for, well, my experience with you is writing for picture books. Is that typically the genre you write, or are you experimenting with other areas? Do you write other things that I don't know about?
I, oh, it's like a secret. I'm
You can
experimenting.
keep it a secret if you need to.
No, it's okay. Primarily picture books, absolutely. I love picture books. I am curious. I love variety in life. And
Mhm.
so I'm starting to write my first YA. And then I'm outlining a few stories for middle grade. I'm really curious about that age group. And I'm starting to read a little bit more in that space. And it's been really fun. So just getting my toes wet, nothing crazy yet, but yeah, mostly picture books, but room to grow always, right?
That's the best thing about writing. I mean, there's always room to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. What atmosphere do you prefer to have around you when you write?
Oh, prefer to have and can have are two very different things, aren't they? Prefer to have is silence, quiet, so I can hear my thoughts and my characters and everything. Can have with three kids and a full-time job is whatever little 5 minutes here and there I get, right? But a lot of my writing is done at night after bedtime. And so there is kind of just a peaceful silence that comes with nighttime that I really enjoy.
Nice. I have a ton of respect for people that can fit in writing stories in little 5 minute blocks here and there. It
It's like
must be so
lots of
challenging.
notes. I have lots of notes on all my manuscripts. So I'll come back and know exactly, where I left off, and this is where
Nice.
my head wants to go next. So that's been super helpful.
Nice. I wondered how people do that. See, look at
It's
all the,
how I do it. I don't know how other genius people do it. That's just me.
well, I think it's a fantastic tip. What has been the most helpful to you in getting your stories submission ready?
Critique partners, 110%. The right critique partners, finding those people that you really click with, who aren't scared to tell you something that is going to shake up your whole story. I think some of the best critique partners have written in like, these are just a bunch of random ideas that came out as I was reading your work. I hope some of them are helpful. And I'm just like, yes, this one is amazing, and it changes everything. But finding critique partners has been huge. When I first started, I reached out to at least a dozen, just looking for, hey, do you have any openings? What kind of manuscripts are you all reviewing? That sort of thing. And kind of attending a lot of them and finding the one that was really meaningful for me was a really, really fruitful process.
So, a couple months ago, I feel like it was a couple months ago, you announced that you uh, signed with an agent.
I did.
Can you tell us a little bit about who's your agent and what do you like most about working with this person?
Yeah, I would love to. Katie Monson is my agent with SBR Media. She's fantastic. I feel very fortunate to have met her. Um, when I was looking for an agent, a lot of people said, make sure communication is spot on. Like that's the number one, that's the most
Mhm.
important. And so that's one thing that was really important to me. I wanted to meet someone who had a similar style to me. And that's what I love most about Katie. She is direct, but not too direct, but she doesn't sugarcoat. She's like that nice little balance in the middle, right?
Hmm.
Where I know she's going to be so truthful and honest about me and my work and her approach for how we submit, and um, so approachable, always available. If I have a quick question, she'll be right on me that day. So I'm really appreciative of her communication style. Yeah.
Nice. It's nice when the right people connect with each other.
Absolutely, it really is.
Yeah. What is your dream as a writer?
I think it's evolved a lot, even just in the past year. I think my first dream was just to figure out, like, this sounds awful, but like, am I good enough? You know? And I think that's still in the back of my head a lot of the time, just figuring that out, you know? So right now, I think my goal is to be published. I would love to be published. I would love my children to hold my book in their hands. That's the
Exactly.
dream right now. But now I'm starting, as you know, I signed with my agent, I'm writing more stories and getting heavier into this new world. I'm starting to let my mind wander into, what if I could make a living out of this? How happy would that be to wake up every morning, right?
Hmm.
I love my job. I do, but I really love to write.
Crossing all my fingers for you.
That's what we do for everyone in the writing community,
Hmm.
right?
Isn't it funny? No matter how far in the process you get, everyone keeps wondering, oh, am I good enough? I think that fear never really fully goes away.
Yeah, and I think it's not unique to writing. I think everyone kind of has that in the back of their mind about something in life, right? So,
True.
which is why it's even more important to be support for each other.
Yeah, very true. So writers I know are always readers. Are you reading anything good these days?
I am reading, I have a couple different books going right now. So my good friend recently turned me on to something I'm way behind with, A Discovery of Witches. So I'm on the second book of that series,
Mhm.
and I'm binging that, but I'm about to start a new book as soon as it gets in the mail that just came out, The List of Suspicious Things. So I'm really excited to dig into that as soon as it comes out. Um, but also, I told you I'm starting to look into middle grade more. So I just started The Lost Library, and it's been adorable so far. I'm really excited. And then I'm always reading picture books. I try to read at least one a day, not every day, but most days I try to read at least one picture book. So today's was Boy in the Sea, which was beautiful and lyrical. I really enjoyed that. So got
Those are
lots,
my
lots of
favorite.
books going. Yeah.
You already knew that. That was my favorite though, didn't you?
Yeah.
Any projects that you're super excited about right now?
Yes. I yeah, you actually read it a couple times, April. There is one that I've been working on for quite a while. I don't know why it just kept sticking with me. It wasn't perfect for a long time, but I finally got it right. I think, I hope. And I sent it to my agent. She loved it. So hopefully that'll be on submission soon. Um, and it's definitely a lyrical piece, which is a genre I'm kind of playing with a little bit. And then there's this other one, the YA I mentioned earlier, totally new for me, but it's definitely a passion project and one I'm really excited about digging into. So those are my two kind of big items right now.
Nice. I'm excited for both of those. All right, a couple fun questions for you. Ready?
Yeah,
What is something you can't live without and why?
I have three boys. Coffee, definitely coffee. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. If you could be any animal, what would you choose and why?
Yeah, I'd say probably either a turtle or a duck, or one of those animals that can both be in water and on land. So like they can play with
Hmm.
their habitat a little bit. Plus, people are always going to feed ducks, right? That sounds nice.
It is nice when people feed you,
Yeah, I'll take that. That sounds good.
especially because it's almost always baked goods, right? Like bread.
There we go. Yeah.
If you could be friends with any character in any book, who would you choose and why?
Yeah. Oh, the friend of all friends. So Anne Shirley, she was like the kindred spirit. I think everyone wants that type of connection. I would love that.
Nice. Let everyone know where we can find you online or social media.
Yeah. At J Lindsey Books on Twitter and newly to Instagram. But yeah, I'd love to make new connections and meet you all and maybe share some manuscripts.
Yay. Thank you so much for coming on the show, kind of being my guinea pig, being my very first interview,
Yeah,
setting me at ease. And it was
absolutely.
so nice to meet you face to face for once.
So nice to
Very
meet you
cool.
too. I think this is such a great idea. So thanks so much for reaching out, April.
Yeah. And thank you to all of our viewers. If you enjoyed our interview today, pop in, leave a comment, like and subscribe to the channel. We would appreciate it. And I think that's about it. We'll sign off for today. Wave goodbye, Jackie.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.